Hey everyone, we reached 500 followers today on the Facebook page, and so I thought it would be really fun to just do a quick impromptu Q&A and answer some of your questions that have been stacking up in my inbox and different places. And so I'll go through those and answer those questions for you in just 1 second. I also wanted to mention that if you're here, please go ahead and like this so that I know you're here and I can say hi. I really appreciate that. I'm going to refresh my page here so that I can see you coming in to this Facebook Live as well. I am excited to be here. I'm Steph Clay from Modern Photo Solutions, and where I'm helping you solve your photo problems and conquer photo overwhelm. So let's dive in. I have several questions here from some people, and some of them are in the Facebook groups and some from email, the Modern Photo Solutions Facebook groups. And so we'll go ahead and jump into these. Let me move over to that tab where I have my questions lined up, and I'm going to change a couple of settings here on the camera. Maybe. I guess I'm not. Yeah, swipe left it says. We're going to swipe left. There we go. Okay, yay, we've got some people in here. Thank you for being here. Thanks for jumping in on this. I really appreciate it. Okay. The first question that we have that I get a ton, and I probably get this question more than any other, is resolution on Google Photos. If you upload your images to Google Photos, is it going to compress your images? Because everybody has heard, through the grapevine, and people will warn them, hey, be careful, Google Photos will compress your images, which it does. However, it only compresses images that are over 16 megapixels. And it's important to note that it's not megabytes, it's megapixels. And so the megapixels is the kind of the resolution of your camera. And in reality, the megapixels on the cameras were kind of doing overkill, because for a long time when digital cameras first came out, they were 1 megapixel and 2 megapixel and just not enough really to have good resolution print photos. And so now we definitely have more megapixels than we really need. And if you want to hear more about that, I would jump into, for sure, be sure to take the free class at modernphotosolutions.com/free. And then also the most recent podcast episode with Shari Pack from Persnickety Prints. We talk about it in there, and she talks about how we're a little bit overkill on the megapixels. So anyway, it will compress images that are over 16 megapixels down to 16 megapixels. So all iPhones and iDevices are below the 16 megapixel threshold, or right at it. I think that the most recent, the 7, is at 12. If it's over 12, it's right there at that threshold. And so if you're shooting on an iPhone, you don't need to worry about your images being compressed at all in Google Photos. If you have a nice DSLR that is over 16 megapixels, then it will be compressed down to 16 megapixels, which Shari indicated in that podcast episode that I talked about is more than adequate for any print size that you would most likely be doing. So it's good to know that you can upload to Google Photos and it's going to be fine. You'll be fine. Your images aren't going to be horrible quality, which I was afraid of for a really long time, actually. And I had to do a lot of research before I would even start using Google Photos, because I was very leery about that same issue. Okay, so the next question that we have comes from Monica Chamberlain, and she says, will you please explain the difference between Amazon Drive and Prime Photos? How about Google Drive and Google Photos? So many wonderful options for storing things, but it is a little overwhelming at the same time. Okay, so Amazon Drive is like a hard drive in the cloud. It has folders, and that a folder hierarchy structure that you can use, and Google Drive is the same thing. And so you can store different kinds of documents, PDFs, Word documents, almost any file format that a computer can create can be stored in the Drive, Amazon Drive or Google Drive. Prime Photos is only for photos and videos, and it can only store photo and video files. It can't handle any of those other Word or PDF, things like that. And that's the exact same thing with Google Photos. Google Photos, though, and Prime Photos can live within those drives. So you can have your photos sync to folders within Google Drive and Amazon Drive. So that's a good thing to know. Okay, the next question is Jane Deuce. How do I deal with Dropbox? I have the same issue, and she's talking about the same issue that I had with camera uploads, where if I turn it on, she gets doubles of everything. And I had that same problem when I had the setting on my phone set to store the higher resolution in the cloud and a low resolution thumbnail on my device. I haven't turned it back on since I changed that and turned that off. I would imagine that it would, with that off, that it would work again, and that I would be fine. But here's a suggestion on how, if you're turning camera uploads off in Dropbox, how you can handle that. And because she wants to keep her Dropbox updated, and what she's doing is she tries to keep 1 to 2 years of photos in the Photos app on her computer, and then she will export a year at a time and organize them in Lightroom and then store them in Dropbox. So what I would suggest you do, you've already got cloud storage going with Google Photos and possibly maybe one other automated solution. That's what I would suggest you have, is one other automated solution as well. And then when you go and download your photos and you're organizing them in Lightroom, that's when I would pull them from Google Photos. All of those phone photos that were uploaded, I would pull them from Google Photos and download them and then organize them that way. If your Google Photos aren't just phone photos, if they're intermingled with your other photos as well, then I would go through the Photos app and export them that way. And you might want to set this up to do it a month at a time. I'm not too worried about having my Dropbox up to date with my phone photos, just because I love Google Photos so much, and that's what I've been using for everything. And so I haven't been worrying. I have cloud storage in a bunch of different locations, and so to not have my phone photos in Dropbox automatically being backed up is not as big of a concern to me anymore. But it would be interesting for me, and I can try that and let you guys know how it goes if I turn that on, and how if I get duplicates again, because I really think that it was just that saving space function that iOS came out with a while ago. I think it was with iOS 10 that they added it, and Dropbox hasn't ever done anything to address it. I don't think Dropbox will do anything to address it. I've talked before a lot about how I think that Dropbox is behind the game as far as cloud backing up for photos. They've got a lot of catching up and a lot of improvements that they need to do for me to get back on board on that one, because they're falling behind very quickly. Okay, T. Lee says, why would I want or need folders in Google Drive when my photos are stored by date in Google Photos? Are there things I can do with them in Google Drive that I can't with Google Photos? And the answer to that is no. You do not need to store your photos in the folders in Google Drive if you don't want to. There's not really any benefit to that, except for that they're in folders and they're organized typically chronologically in folders. I've heard of a couple people say that their photos have just been all combined into one folder in Google Drive when they have that automation set up that Google provides. And some people are saying that they're organized by date or by year, but not by month. Google advertises that it will automatically organize them and sort them into folders by year and then month. The biggest reason that I talk about that in my free class is because I know that there are a lot of people that depend on their folder structure and moving away from that would give them a heart attack. And I understand that, and so I give them that to rely on. I know a lot of people that have started using Google Photos and had that syncing feature available to them in Google Drive, but they've never actually used it, and they've never gone into Google Drive to find photos within their folders. And once they start using Google Photos, actually, that's how they find their photos, by searching, because it's just so much faster to search in Google Photos for photos that we're looking for. I know it is for me, and I know that everyone that I've talked to has found the same thing. Okay, so the next question that we have, and I want to shout out to you guys that are here. Be sure that you like this post, this Facebook Live, so that people can see it, and so that I know you're here too, so that I can see that you're here. I'm watching it being updated, and so that would be fun to be able to know that you're here. So go ahead and like it down there, and then I have just one or two more questions to go over really quick. And I hope that my internet is holding out here. I did a speed test right before I started this, and it was super fast, but I'm still having internet problems, unfortunately. So hopefully it's hanging on with us. Okay, so question. The next question, I have two more questions. So the next question is from Marcy, and she says, when I connected my Google Photos to Google Drive, it is uploading the photos but not in folders like you show in the class. Is there a setting to make this happen automatically? You do need to connect them. That's all you need to do. And unfortunately, Google is aware that there is a bug somewhere. I've read tons of forums, tons of information about this, and there really seems to be no rhyme or reason, unfortunately, for this happening. I'm hoping that once they get Google Upload and Sync worked out, because they released that not too long ago, and there are I'm hearing that there are a few bugs in that as well, which is why I haven't really talked about it a ton. If you aren't using that, I would definitely wait until they get some of the bugs worked out. But there's nothing that you can do if they aren't syncing. There's nothing that you can do to make it sync into the folders. You could try disconnecting it and then reconnecting it and see if that would work. But I don't know, unfortunately. Okay, our last question is from Candace, and she says, if I first upload to Google Photos, will Google Drive follow and then the pictures end up in folders? Yes, that is how it's supposed to work, is you upload into Google Photos, and then that does not count against your storage, your Google Drive storage. If you upload to Google Photos and then you connect Google Photos and Google Drive, it should automatically create a Google Photos folder like I show in the class, and then it's supposed to organize them automatically for you into folders by year, and then within those year folders, it should be month folders. But it happens most of the time, really. I don't want you to think that it's a big problem, widespread. It does happen correctly most of the time. There are just a few people that it's not happening for, and it's enough to know that it really for sure is a bug, and hopefully Google will get it worked out. So I just want to remind you, if you haven't taken the free Google Photos class, be sure to go to modernphotosolutions.com/free and sign up for that free class where you can learn everything you need to know about Google Photos, and it will answer all of your questions about resolution and all of the other myths that you've heard about Google Photos, and you will have your photos uploaded in the cloud, safe, so that if anything happens to your device, you know that they'll be okay, and you'll be able to search them and find whatever you want, whenever you want. It's so amazing, and I love it. Thank you so much for being here with me. I really appreciate you sharing some of your time with me and being here, and thanks so much for sharing about Modern Photo Solutions, because it's because of you that I reached this milestone of 500 followers. I haven't been great about telling people about the page, so I really appreciate all of you that are here and paying attention and liking and commenting and being part of this community that I'm growing here. And I really am grateful for all of you that are here and are working with me, alongside of me, to conquer our photos and get things done. And we'll see you next time. Thank you so much.